Welcome to the Daring CEO Co-op podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs who dare to build a business on their own terms. I'm your host, Denise Klein, and each episode, we're going to dive into stories, talents, and passions of those who are redefining success and making their mark by sharing their gifts with the world. Join us for inspiration, real talk, and actionable insights as we embrace the power of daring to do business your way. Hey, entrepreneurs. Welcome to this episode of the Daring CEO podcast. I'm excited to share with you today Becky Davidson, who is a sales trainer, and I have worked with her. You will love her. She has lots of wonderful resources, including Facebook pages and groups and all these kind of things. So we're going to get into those. And if you are new here to the Daring CEO podcast, one of the reasons we do this is because we want to show you evidence of other successful entrepreneurs doing exactly the kind of things that you're trying to do. And as entrepreneurs, we need lots of support. So Becky is a great resource. Becky, thanks for coming and spending some time with us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's good to see you. And of course, I always love chatting with you and talking business with you. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So Becky and I have known each other for a little while. I stalked her for a little while, and then I joined a LinkedIn training that she did. I did a sales intensive thing that she did, and then we actually did one-on-one coaching. And for those of you that don't have, sales isn't a natural thing. And I told Becky, I'm a teacher. I'm not a salesperson. Well, guess what? We're an entrepreneur, we're salespeople. So before we even get into all of the things that she is an expert in, Becky, I would love for you to share with our group a little bit about your journey to being your own daring CEO.
Okay, awesome. Well, I got into sales a long time ago, actually at 19. And so I'm not going to tell my age, but a few decades, we'll just say a few decades ago. And I went to 1 year of college. College really wasn't my thing. And my dad was a salesperson. And I was very introverted. I was a shy person. I was very quiet and shy through school. And I did not like being shy and quiet. And I was at that place where I had to pick a career. And I chose sales. I thought sales would be fun. I thought it would get me out of my shell. It would help me meet other people. It would help me have more confidence in who and what I was. So I got into sales because I was shy and introverted. And I struggled a little bit because it definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone. But one of the things that I did in my mid 20s, after kind of limping along and doing okay in sales, is I took a Dale Carnegie sales course. And that was a 3-month in person, about 45 people. We met once a week in person, and they taught me the foundation of sales, a framework that I could follow to lead conversations and get to a decision. And then they grade you throughout the whole process. And I came in second out of about 45 people. And they asked me to come back as a graduate assistant and help train it. And so I spent about 6 months at the Dale Carnegie Institute. And I fell in love with the sales process, really the psychology of selling. And I really fell in love with training people and mentoring people and helping others that were like me, struggling to have more confidence and success. And I remember way back when thinking, oh gosh, if I could just do this, that would be my dream job, would be to teach others how to sell. And over the years, I got sales jobs and I was rookie of the year, salesperson of the year, had lots of success, promoted into sales management. And of course, I mentored and trained people as a sales manager for companies that I worked for, but I never had that opportunity to jump in and do my own thing. So many, many years later, that dream was in my heart. It always was. And that was to help others, to serve others. And I've been training people in sales for about 20 years. I've been doing sales. Well, I guess I'll tell you 40 years in sales, 20 years training people. And I finally, after 40 years in sales, decided to launch my own business, Win with Becky Sales Training. And it was definitely a leap of faith, but I did not want to end my life regretting the one dream that I had in my heart my whole life. And so that's how I got into sales and sales training.
That is
Really
awesome.
to get out of being shy and introverted.
And it's just interesting. I was going to go back to that because I am an introvert. I don't know that I would say that I'm shy, but I'm definitely an introvert. And I think it's interesting that instead of leaning away from the thing that made you uncomfortable, you leaned into the thing that made you uncomfortable and then got comfortable with it. And not just got comfortable with it and fell in love with it and trained people in it and built a business around it. That is that is an amazing thing. So very cool that you did that. You definitely have a teacher's heart that's very evident for anybody that spends any time with you, even just in your Facebook groups, much less, having opportunity to teach one-to-one. Can you tell us a little bit about different things that you teach and different opportunities that people could spend some time with you and learn from you?
Mhm. Right. Yeah, I do agree. I do feel like I have a teacher's heart. Really, what I tell people is I love, love, love to help people win. There's nothing like the thrill of attracting a new client, of
Hmm.
growing a business, of influencing people to make a decision, a good decision, an ethical decision. And I just remember throughout my sales career that high, that feeling of, yeah, I'm winning. Yeah, this feels good. And when I can help other people win, my favorite job that I have in the whole world is being a parent. Being a parent, being a grandparent, teaching my kids, mentoring my kids, helping them grow to the best version of themselves that they can be. That is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And I feel like I get to do that. Like my clients, you know,
Yeah,
are like my children. They're like the people that are so important in my life. And I want to see them win, like working with Denise or any of my clients. If they have a victory, if they have a win, I've got some texts this morning of people that, small victories, big victories, it doesn't matter the size, but to
yeah.
be a part of that celebration, that high five, that good job, you're killing it, that just jazzes me like no other. It really, truly does. And
I love.
so,
Yeah, and the fact that's exactly what teachers do, right? They get so excited when their students succeed. And when one of the things that I wanted you to spend a little time talking about, and this is something you and I talked about in our coaching together. So many people have this aversion to sales. They think sales has an ick factor, and we've kind of talked about manipulation versus persuasion. And you have a beautiful take on this, so I'd love for you to share your thoughts on how people think about sales.
mhm, mhm. Yeah. So I tell people that sales is not a dirty word. So it does not have to feel ick, because sales to me is influence, ethical influence, relationship building, and serving others and helping people with a solution. And if you have something that you believe in, if you have a product or service or value that you have, whether it's technology, whatever it is, whatever product or service that you have, and it has value to other people, then I feel our job is to go find those people, introduce it to them, share it with them, and give them the opportunity to select it if they want. People want to buy, people like buying, they don't like to be sold. And I
Mhm.
think why some people have an aversion to sales is because of the perception that you have to convince people, that you have to chase people, that you have to stalk people, that you have to do all these things that doesn't feel good. And trust me, I don't teach people that. I'm not going to do that. And I certainly don't want anybody that I'm working with chasing, stalking, and convincing. I always say I don't convince anybody.
Yeah.
But it's community. We sell every day in our life, whether you're a teacher, you're selling your students
Mhm.
on getting better grades, on showing up, on doing the lesson plan. We sell our spouse, we sell our kids. It's influence. We're influencing people to take a different action, to make
Mhm.
a change, to invest in something. And if you believe in that and you do it the right way, and I talk about leading people to a decision by asking the right questions at the right time to get the right answer. And if it's a no, then thank them and move on. We're not going to convince anyone. We're really just trying to find the right fit people that are looking for what we need, looking for the solution that we offer.
I love that so very much, and that's exactly what you do. One of the things that helped me the most in our time together was getting to the point where I felt comfortable and confident during a sales call, which I'm just going to put it right out there. It took me a while to get there. And even some days now, I'm still a little wobbly, but it's all about the practice, right? And I think one of the things that you did so beautifully in lots of the different trainings and teaching that I've done, but with you, has really helped me pull together that sales conversation where we're asking those questions and positioning ourselves as, a trusted advisor. And I think for people that don't know what to ask to lead them there, then, working with somebody like you is really going to help them pull that together so they do have that confidence.
Yeah. I find personally, and most of the people I work with are solopreneurs, entrepreneurs. They come from teaching backgrounds, administration, wherever, whatever, but they don't come from a sales background, but they have this passion, this desire, this product, the service that they offer. And they kind of expect it to be a little easier than what it is. Like all I have to do is put it out there and people will come. Well, unfortunately, if you are a solopreneur, entrepreneur, you are the epitome of a straight commission salesperson.
Right.
Because if you're not good at selling and communicating and having the right communication, you're not going to close sales. And
Mhm.
nothing hurts my heart worse than to see someone that pours their time, their energy, their money, their heart into a business and then feel like a failure or feel like they're not good at it or feel like they have to quit and go out and do something else. And so one of the misconceptions a lot of people have about sales is telling, is I have to tell them and explain it and convince them and share, 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 share,
Right.
share, share, share.
Mhm.
But really what sales is asking the right questions and having a conversation.
Oh,
And really, I tell people treat those sales calls almost like someone is coming to see a doctor
mhm.
and you're diagnosing a solution for them and you're asking the right questions to see where they're at and what they're looking for and what the solution would mean to them and how we can get there and what might be the best solution. That's ethical selling, is getting on their side of the table and helping them make a decision, whether it's yes, whether it's no, or not quite yet. So that's really what I do for people like Denise, is just helping them have the framework to lead those conversations.
I think one of the things, speaking for myself, and I know I'm not the only one, but for a lot of people, the idea of sales is uncomfortable because of what they would call rejection. Can you talk a little bit
Mm,
about, and you kind of touched on it a little bit there, but this idea of rejection in sales?
mm. Yeah. So one of the surefire ways of failing in sales is trying to avoid rejection. A no is not rejection. I always tell people a no is not rejection. A no is a decision. And that's what we want. We
Mhm.
want to help people make decisions, whether it be yes, whether it be no. And it's okay if I say, "Hey, Denise, I have this great sales training. Would that be of any value?" And if you're like, "No, I'm great at sales. I don't need it." She's not rejecting me. She doesn't need what I
Mhm.
have. Move
Right.
on. So
Hmm.
our job is just helping people, one, identify if they do have a want or need. And then if they
Hmm.
do, how what we have might fit into that and solve their problem. And
Hmm.
I always kind of compare it to like a flow chart. If at any time you get a no, then it's a time to stop and really dig in and figure out why. Maybe, you're offering the wrong product. Maybe it's a timing thing, or why they're holding back. Or if it's just a no, they don't need it, that's fine, move on. We're not trying to sell everyone. We're trying to find the right people with the right need at the right time.
Absolutely. And that's such a good way to put it. And one of the things that really has helped me in my own entrepreneurial journey is early on, I had a coach. Her name was Becky as well. I know lots of wonderful Coach Becky's. And one of the things she said, I actually heard her on a panel, and she actually said, what am I making this mean? And a lot of times, as business owners, when we have a rejection, we are making it mean that we are doing something wrong, or that there's something wrong with us, or that we're not good salespeople. So I love that reframe that they're not rejecting you; they've made a decision, and it's not a personal thing. And yes, if you are getting a lot of no's, can you look at that gives you an
Mm,
opportunity really to go back and look, and you can even ask them. You probably are going to get some kind of feedback. Maybe it's price, maybe it's not a good fit. It could be a lot of different things. So we definitely want to look at that. But um, I like that reframe. It's they've made a decision. You're
yeah.
helping them make a decision, the right decision for them. And again, it's we're being of service to them, not selling them.
Right. Absolutely. And I always say, no's are the best lesson. In fact, I just did a post on LinkedIn and it was all about if you try to avoid the no, you'll never get the yes. And the no's are our best lessons. And let's be honest. If you say you want 5 clients, in a month, say that's your goal is to get 5 new clients, you're probably going to have 10, 15, 20 no's. I'm not interested. No, not right now. And I
Mhm.
tell my clients and I tell everyone, I'll take a hard no any day of the week over an undecided, indecisive, I don't
Mhm.
know, maybe let me think about it. And so our job as salespeople, I always say, is to be decision facilitators
Yeah, I like that.
and help people to reach a decision, whether it's yes, whether it's no, or whether it's what is our next step? What is the next step that we have to take?
Yeah, I love that so much. One of the things that that has happened to me a lot, we get into having those sales conversation is, you have to kind of anticipate and overcome objections. And one of the things that you taught me was really through those asking of questions, you can kind of filter some of those out. Can you talk about that process a little bit?
Yeah. So when you have a sales call, I mean, every sales call is littered with resistance and objections. I mean, it's just nature. I mean, otherwise they would just be like, here's my money, buy, I'm ready to buy. If they're not, waving their money at you, they have some concerns. I
Mhm.
always reframe objections as concerns. We all have concerns. Is it a right fit? Is this the right time? Can I afford it? Do I trust this person? Do I like this product? Can I, is it a good time to invest in it? We have all these things that are buzzing around in our head. And whether you uncover them or whether you let them just keep buzzing around in their head, they're there. They're
Yeah.
going to be there. Our job and an objection that is not solved becomes an I don't know, let me think about it down the road at the end of your conversation. So if someone says, you get to the end, they're like, oh, it sounds good. Let me think about it. They have unresolved objections inside their head. They may not have shared them with you,
Mhm.
but if you don't help them figure that out and solve those concerns, they will not be ready to move forward.
Yeah.
And so our job is to solve all concerns. The presentation is about solving all those concerns. And
Mhm.
there's some that you're going to get money. I mean, everyone's going to have a money concern. Is this a good value? Is this a right price? Am I being overcharged? Can I afford it? All the pricing. So if you know you're going to get a pricing concern, don't wait for it to be a concern.
Right.
Address it.
Mhm.
Weave that into your presentation. If timing is a concern, if you have something about your product or service that comes up over and over and over again, turn it into a positive. Address it and turn it into a reason why. Even, I've sold high priced products and services compared to other companies out there. And I would say, hey, our pricing is not the cheapest out there. And I'm proud of that
Mhm.
because sometimes when you buy the cheapest, you're not going to get the best value. So you can reframe sometimes what might be an objection into a reason to buy.
Yeah, I love that. And we have to remember too, especially if you're new to sales, that, and I remind myself this all the time, this takes practice and it is something, it is
Mm.
a skill that you get better with over time. Could you tell our audience a little bit about um, working with you and how that coaching and how those kind of things are a little structured to help them build those skills?
Mhm. Yeah, so I do work with a lot of new people, that are not seasoned in sales, but I also have seasoned salespeople that come to me. I've had people that have been in sales 25, 30 years in sales. But I always say school is never out for the pro. If
Mhm.
you want to be really good at leadership and communication and influence and being better at closing sales, better at polished, because competition is fierce. We
It
have
is.
so much competition out there. And so the ability to really articulate a message and communicate well and ask those right questions, there are lots of nuances to reading body language, to how answer those questions, and posture and confidence and all of the little nuances that even myself, I will, after I get done with a call, I'll be like, oh, I forgot to do that. Why didn't I say that? I should have said this. Because no one's perfect. I mean, in the moment, we're going to talk like we're going to always kind of go back to old habits, because
Right.
it takes a while to build a new habit. So a lot of times we tend to, go back to bad habits. And so with what I do is I teach people the framework. I tell people I don't really feel like a coach, even though what I do is some coaching, but I feel like a trainer and a strategist, that I help people with tactical strategies, how to find more clients, how to
Mhm.
attract more clients, how to communicate in such a way so people want to listen to you, so that they want to book appointments with you, how to set yourself apart from your competition, how to lead people to decisions, and how to really have a framework that you can rely on. And so okay, here I'm at this place, I need to ask these questions, I need to get these answers out of the way. Because if you press on and try to sell people without qualifying or without double checking, hey, does this make sense? Are you ready to are you open to this? You
Mhm.
need those little touch points throughout. And one of the things that I had a big problem with when I was new is I would talk, tell, share, 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 and I'd get to the end and be like, oh my gosh, it's a close. What am I going to say? Well, if you're not asking questions throughout the presentation, it's hard to ask a closing question at the end. So
Mhm.
I give people the framework to follow, and having someone kind of in their corner that that I do what's called on-demand coaching, so that they can message me and say, hey, I had this happen. I had this concern. Someone was interested, but they told me they couldn't buy for 3 months. What do I do now? And
Mhm.
if you like the idea of having someone in your corner that can say, this is what you do, this is what I would do, you need to message them and say this, this, and this. And
Mhm.
that's what I do for my clients. And I can think of 4 people right off the top of my head that use that, and we turn no's into yeses. And
Yeah.
so a lot of times it just takes the right language, the right strategy, and understanding why they're saying no and
Mhm.
what we need to solve to maybe get them to a yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
That is so wonderful. And, I know I kind of said this at the beginning, as we're building businesses, right? We kind of collect people to support us. And that's one of the reasons I obviously wanted to have you here, because you are more than a coach. And, the term coach gets used a lot, but coaching and training are different, and I like that you are like right there in the pocket giving it that feedback. And as a teacher, as a trainer, that's where the learning really happens. Like, this is what I did, and you're like, well, you could have done this instead. And having those conversations are so beneficial, and having that support is
Mm,
wonderful.
mm.
One of the things, so we kind of talked about how your approach is unique. You have opportunities for people to connect with you in your fantastic Facebook group. And if you're not in our Facebook group, you want to go and join that. Gives opportunities for people to present. She's got wonderful ambassadors and stuff in the group that contribute to the group. But you also have other training opportunities besides your one-on-one coaching. You want to talk about that a
Mhm.
little bit?
Yeah, yeah. So I started out one-on-one training was what I wanted to do, but there was a lot of other little nuanced things that I wanted to provide. So of course I do a LinkedIn training. I also do a LinkedIn marketing program where, I mean, prospecting is a big piece of sales, and I've spent a lot of time and
Mhm.
on a lot of different platforms, but I do find that LinkedIn is a great place. People are there to make decisions. So LinkedIn is one of the areas that I really focus on. And the thing that I pride myself on, and I think Denise would attest to this, is my pricing is so affordable. I keep my pricing affordable. I don't want to
Uh,
overprice people so that they can't afford to work with me. So, and I bring
mhm.
lots of value to the price. But my LinkedIn training
Absolutely.
is one training that I do. I also do a Facebook group growth training, which is also crazy low price. If you want to grow a Facebook group, I think Facebook groups are definitely a
Mhm.
powerful tool in building your business. So I train on that. I also have my sales accelerator intensive, which is a group training. It's a small group, 8 people, again, very affordable. And
Mhm.
you get the whole roadmap, you get the framework, you get collaboration, you get a lot. And whoever works with me, I feel like I become your sales partner no matter where you work with me, because I like to promote people. I like to interview them. I like to showcase them. I
Right.
like to refer them. Again,
Yep.
my heart is to see people win. And so
Exactly.
I want to put all the pieces in place that I can be that referral partner, that connector, that supporter, that I can give you the tools, the system, the framework, but also be there in the wings with you, helping you win. And then I have my Sales Club Hub, which has just dozens of videos that for someone that doesn't want to spend a lot of money, but just wants to kind of get inside my brain, and
Mhm.
learn all the different pieces. So that's a real affordable solution as well.
Yeah. I love that you offer a variety of things because, when it comes to sales, it's not just all the sales techniques. It is the prospecting. It is, this modern way of doing business, right? It is online, it's LinkedIn, it is Facebook groups. And so I love that you help touch on all of those different aspects. And I do love that you are affordable. I think a lot of coaches can get super, super expensive, and especially for smaller businesses on solo entrepreneurs, they may not have the budget for that. So I love that. One of the first things you and I connected over was the fact that you are a connector. You are being of service to other people. I've been connected with lots of wonderful people because of you, and I always try to send that back your direction, because I really do feel like that's kind of what modern business is: building relationships and collecting people that are supportive um, of each other. And so I that's one of my favorite things, that you have that heart of service.
Mm,
So I
thank you. I love that. And I love doing that. I've always been that kind of a person.
Mhm.
I I'm a professional conversation starter. I love talking to people. I love getting to know people. And I do hold a lot of appointments every single week with a lot of people, a lot of coffee chats,
Mhm.
because I am naturally curious about other people and I want to see them win, whether it's with me or whether it's because they need Denise or someone else. And I have aligned myself with some really amazing people that I consider friends, allies, referral partners like Denise,
Mhm.
that if someone is needing help, I can say, "Oh my gosh, you need to talk to Denise. She's my person."
Mhm.
And I just love doing that because whatever you want in the world,
Yes,
do it first. Go out there
exactly.
and do it.
Yeah.
Don't just sit and wait for it to happen. Be the
Yeah.
person that does it, and I feel like it'll come back to you. And I've
Abs-
just always felt that way.
Absolutely. And I couldn't say it any better. And that's exactly how I feel. That's part of the reason that's why I'm doing this. That's why I have the co-op. That's why I have the business that I do, is wanting to be of service. So that resonates so much with me, and I thank you. Um, you were one of the first people, I guess, last fall, when I was really kind of getting into promoting Sproutware, because for those of you who don't know, I pivoted my virtual assistant business to Sproutware, and that was a very big undertaking. And I knew that I needed sales help, and just your authenticity shone through. So I'm so glad that we connected, and you've been such a good support for me. So
Oh,
if you
thank
are on
you.
the fence at all, if you do a coffee chat, just do a coffee chat. You will thank me
Bring
later.
them on.
Thanks.
I love meeting people. So, yeah, you have an open invitation to reach out to me, book a coffee chat. I also do a free 45-minute sales strategy session, no cost, no obligation, where I'll, ask some questions about your business, how it's going, what you're doing, some specific questions. And I'll give you strategy, like how to's. Like you can ask me anything about sales. So,
Mhm.
if that's something about that could be of value to you, make sure to book that. And I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here to serve and support and bring value.
yeah. And what a great resource you are. So I'm so excited that you came today, so I could share you yet again with as
Yay.
many people as I can. So for everybody, I will make sure that you have all of Becky's links, and so you can find her and cyberstalk her and get to know her. Becky, thank you again so much for coming
Thank
and sharing
you.
all your gifts and
Thank
talents with the
you.
world.
Awesome. And if you guys are out there and you haven't worked with Denise or booked an appointment with Denise, she's got a heart of gold. I mean, I've gotten to know her really, really well. I highly respect her and recommend her. Her work is top notch.
Thank
She
you.
over delivers and she is just an absolutely amazing human being. So I appreciate you. and our friendship, our collaboration. And I appreciate you having me on today. So thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Daring CEO Co-op podcast. If you'd like to have more support and join our community, we'd love to have you. You can reach us by going to daringceo.com. There you're going to find a link for our free Facebook community. And if you'd like to be a podcast member, there will be a link for that as well. Thank you for spending this time with us. Now, go be daring.